Let's get into it.
You this question, right? Just to go back to the dating outside your race. You once said that dating interracially is a form of self-hatred.
Absolutely.
Why do you believe that?
Never heard of
Absolutely.
that.
Because why do you want to stare in the face of a member of the people who have committed the greatest human atrocities against your people? These are the people
Is that
who
only specifically to white people, or do you mean if they date an Asian woman or Indian woman? Is that still the same?
Well, I got
concept?
two answers. If
Right.
we dealing with white people,
Right.
Yeah.
why would you want one of them after what they've done to us and continue to do?
Mm.
Because your white girlfriend's still a racist. She still doesn't value black life. You understand? That white man Serena Williams is married to, he don't value black life. You understand? That white woman that took $1 billion from Tiger Woods, she don't value black life, right? I could give you countless examples of people I've met in therapy who were called the N-word by white husbands and white wives. You understand me? White people who have sex with you, didn't the slave master sleep with our mothers and grandmothers? So just because they land in the bed with you, what makes you think that they shed their racism? They don't. White people are racist. All white people are racist. There's no exceptions.
I wouldn't say all white people are racist, but however, I get what he's saying in the sense of just because you dating them, just because you sleeping with them, that doesn't mean that they shed all of their, racist tendencies and stuff like that. A lot of the times it's even more. That's the crazy part about it. Like they'll date a black woman, they'll date a black man, and they the most racist person in the room. Like I'll tell you a story. Like my stepdad, he's a police officer, and he would tell me these stories of how, like, these white cops would date these black women, and they would have interracial kids, and he was like, but you wouldn't know that because of the way they talk about their wives and how they talk about black people. It truly is a sad thing, but let's continue.
They might not all be bigots, but they're all racist. Right. They all want their people to dominate unfairly the resources, the opportunities, and the privileges of this society.
So
every white person.
What about the people that just say love is love, right?
Who believes love is love?
I mean, that's most people's answer.
That might be most black people. Love ain't love for most white folks. Everything white people do has a political purpose. Everything white people do has a political purpose. Ain't no love is love with white folks.
Would we be considered racist if we only date within our race?
No, that's what you call race loyalty. And racism is a group system of exploitation, discrimination, oppression, bias, where one group seeks to deny all members of another group their fair share of resources, opportunities, and privileges. You know why you can't be a racist? You don't own a damn thing white people need in order to live. White people need you for nothing, but you need them. Whose schools our kids go to? Theirs.
True.
Our money in whose banks? Theirs. Who's building the houses we need to rent and buy? Them. Who's shipping our stuff around the world that we need to order to live? Them. You follow me? They don't need us for shit. We need them for everything. We are as dependent on white people today as we was when slavery ended 157 years ago.
Facts. And that's why I'm a big advocate for like as a race, us having our own, especially black people. It should be no reason why, especially where I live at, we don't have several black owned businesses. We don't have our own products. Like, I feel like we need to do that just a little bit more, because we're being exploited by everybody else, but we don't have nothing that we can say, yeah, this is like ours,
So,
in my opinion, if you talk to an integrationist, and say, how far have we come since slavery? Oh, we've come very far. We got a black president. Now we got a black vice president. We got a black Supreme Court justice. We got about 10 black billionaires. We got about 100 black millionaires.
Ain't shit changing.
Because their definition of progress is based exclusively on superficial assets. Are you following me? Now that's the integrationist. Now you come to me, the nationalist, the Pan-African nationalist. How much progress have we made since slavery? Zero. But Dr. Umar, how can you say that? Black people got master's degrees, doctorate degrees, houses in white neighborhoods. We own our own businesses. We got millionaires. We got tech companies. Here's my question. To what extent are we now in a better position to protect and dictate the lives of our children today than we was when slavery ended? Let me ask it another way. When slavery ended, we own 0.5% of all the wealth in America. Guess how much we own now?
The same.
1/2
Wow.
of 1% of all the wealth in
That's
America.
crazy. I did
What
not
the
know
fuck
that.
has changed?
Not a
Nothing
thing.
at all but the appearance of things.
Right.
The only thing they did when they ended slavery is change the way it looked. They traded in slavery. Before the 13th Amendment, we were owned by individuals. We was the property of individual slaveholders. After the 13th Amendment, we became property of the government itself. We are slaves of the state.
So
Still not free.
let me ask you a question, because
In other words, if you walk out here right now and a police officer pulls you over and takes your life, God forbid, unjustifiably, how was that any better than you being on the plantation picking cotton and the overseer just decides to get off his horse and blow your damn brains out? 157 years apart. Was there any difference in the power dynamic?
Hell no.
Nothing at all.
Nope.
Correct.
We are exactly where we were.
There's no ramifications.
Power is the measuring stick, y'all. Not education, not income, not billionaires and millionaires. How many black people on TV, Obamas and Kamalas? That's irrelevant. How much power do we have to force white people to leave us the hell alone? And do we
Virtually
have
none.
any more now than we had in 1865?
Nope.
I don't see it.
Moving.
Wait, hold on. Let me ask a question real quick, because a lot of people say that Obama got in office and he did nothing for black people. Do you think he had the power to do anything when he was president?
I want to ask a question before that question. Do I think he had the power?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Major changes, he didn't have the power.
Right.
Minor changes, he did. For example, Barack Obama could have got us more black teachers. Barack Obama could have did something about the special education exploitation of our children. He could have done something about the suspensions and expulsions. He could have fought for better schools and more black educators, because everybody agrees that the schools are a problem. Do you understand? Everybody agreed that the schools. Obama didn't do nothing about that. You follow me? He could have done something about black homelessness. He didn't.
Nope.
Now, for the black middle class, he threw them a couple bones and allowed them to buy a house and that kind of shit, if you consider that progress.
And what's so crazy, I said something about that, and that was demonized, even amongst my own family members, for saying the crap that Dr. Umar is saying. I said the same thing, and people was like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about," and thought because I was a young man, like I ain't know nothing. But reality of the fact is, on major changes, like there was no way he was going to get that through. But minor changes, like stuff that could have really impacted us, man, he ain't do nothing. Barely.
Progress, right?
Right.
But overall, did he systemically change anything for black people? Not at all. But did he systemically change anything for gay people? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But don't you think it's easier for one to do that because of the power that they possess? Because of, I mean, there's white people, Asian people that's in that community.
Okay, possibly. But here's my question for you then. Let's say Obama had no power to change nothing. Let's just say that. Then why would you vote for him for your presidency?
I was ignorant
Right.
to how that whole system worked. When I first voted, I just turned 18. You know what I mean? So as I'm learning more, I realized that it goes through a vote and you need certain seats, people in these seats to push bills through. He didn't have that. Even Biden now, where we voted in these seats, he's still not doing nothing for.
That's why it's important to vote for, your local state legislature, your Congress people, because in reality, when it comes time to vote, yeah, you could have your favorite president in the office, but if you don't have the right people in Congress or your local governments, in your state, none of what you want is going to get through. So, just remember that.
For black people.
But you know what the difference is? Presidents have executive privilege. Barack Obama could have signed executive orders to do things for black people that he did not do. Remember, Biden gave the Asians an executive order before Congress gave them a law. He gave the Native Americans an executive order before Congress gave them the law. You follow what I'm saying? Donald Trump gave the Hispanics, the Latinos, an executive order before. You understand? Obama could have used the power of his pen. And here's my one thing against Barack Obama. My one thing. You're right. I'm not going to slide him for not changing anything. I'm going to slide him for not even trying. Do you see the difference?
Definitely.
You, the president of student government at college, you didn't get nothing done. But guess what, brother? I salute you because I saw you fight for me. You feel me? You didn't get nothing done, but I saw you fight for me. Every time I turn on the television, Barack Obama talking about homosexuals like they the only people in the country. That's all he talked about. Middle-class white people, homosexuals, women, and immigrants. That's all he cared about. Black people got no attention from him, but that's why the white man put him in there. When Obama was running for office, I'm one of the only scholars of public stature that said when he's done, we're going to be worse off than we was before he got in there. You go to I did a lecture at Black and Nobel bookstore in Philadelphia. It's on YouTube. Go watch it. People still watching now. They say, Dr. Umar, everything you said in the Obama, and this is why he was running, everything you said about him, it has all come to pass. Why? I'm not no genius, but what I do know is every time we get elected officials, the condition of Black people gets worse. It never gets better. Rarely do we do better when somebody Black gets elected.
You don't think he was personally hand selected, especially after the whole Bush situation?
Yeah. They selected Barack Obama to make make the Black community in America safe for homosexuality. And they needed him internationally when back Africa support because America needs Africa's resources. So he was a stooge and a puppet. He knows it, but he did it willingly.
That make a lot of sense.
You know, I'm sure he has trouble sleeping at night sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But my point again, if he has no power, and if you claim your vote, see, both things can't be true. Either your vote is important, or Obama should have never been elected because he ain't got the power to do nothing. You see that? You can't have a vote. You can't say my vote means everything to me, but I'm going to use it on a man who can't do anything for me. It can't be both ways. I'm going to be honest with you. And I don't blame Barack Obama. To his credit, he never said he would do nothing for Black people. Do you understand me?
Face value.
When Jesse Jackson ran for president, 84, 88, he said he would do something for Black people. When Al Sharpton ran, he said he would do something for Black people. When Barack Obama ran, he made sure he didn't mention Black people. Even in his presidential address, he wouldn't even mention Dr. King by name. He just said a preacher from Georgia. He wouldn't even say his name. Obama stayed as far away from Black issues as possible. So to his credit, he didn't lie to us. We projected onto him this messianic complex that's failed us. Because guess what? You know what? Do you think Joe Biden would have ignored Black people if we didn't let Obama do it for 8 years? Do you think Donald Trump would have ignored Black people if we didn't let Obama do it for 4 years, for 8 years?
And I'm gonna stop the video right there because it's coming to an end. But I definitely agree with him when it comes down to the whole Obama situation. In terms of, you know, his presidency, he definitely could have pushed his pen a little bit more for Black people and at least tried, but he didn't really try when it came down to us. And as far as like the interracial dating, I agree with some of what he's saying. I won't go as far as to say every white person is a racist, because I do have some white friends and, you know, none of them, you know, show any of that. But I will say I do agree with the fact of, yes, you can sleep with these people. And in my case, you can even be friends with them sometimes. But that doesn't mean that that side of them isn't there or it's completely gone, if that makes sense. You know what I'm trying to say. But you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And, you know, you tell me what you guys want to see. Like I said, this is a brand new YouTube channel. And, you know, I'm just getting my feet wet. But, yeah, you know, leave some feedback for me. All right. You guys have a good one.